I'm Mitchell Renz, host of the Raiders Report, and I ran this mock draft simulator on PFN. Now, you can use PFF, you can use PFN, you can use a lot of different simulators. I'm just telling y'all what I did at the moment that I am drafting right now for the Las Vegas Raiders. They are picking at number 2. So depending on if you look at NFL.com, depending on how you look at Tankathon, I am just simply going through and I'm going to be going pick by pick, telling you if I was going to say Antonio Pierce and Tom Flusco. I don't even know if they're going to be the head coach GM combo next season. How about this? I'll sit down. I'm in the war room with the Raiders, and I get to make all the picks. Here is the draft that you're going to be seeing. As it stands right now, the Raiders have 10 picks overall, and this might change from time to time depending on comp picks, depending on things from time to time. But I do know this. The Raiders are going to be set up very well in the draft, and I am running this draft based off of what the Raiders' needs currently are and what the Raiders' plans could potentially be looking like with some of their free agents next offseason. So I ran the mock. Number 1 off the board is Travis Hunter, and he's going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. So that means this. If it's draft night, I'm not going to lie to y'all. If it's draft night, we're going to be live here on this show. Make sure you're subscribed. We're going to get the picks before you see them on TV. And we're in this scenario. Dude, I'm telling you what, I'm going to blow the roof off this joint. So you know what? Let's answer this question. If you got to pick one to draft, you going Shedeur Sanders type SS? Are you going to go Cam Ward type CW? Or would you go with somebody else? You can type O for down below. For me personally, well, you know what? We're going to make this the pinned comment here on today's show. You're about to get it with the YouTube ad break. Scrolling down, give me your answer. I would draft Cam Ward over Shedeur Sanders. I'm not afraid to say that. But this show is based on what I think the Raiders would do. This show is based on what Tom Brady's going to do at the quarterback spot. And they're going to end up going with Shedeur Sanders. So for that reason, I'm going to go with the kid out of Colorado. So back-to-back Colorado players taken in this mock draft. And I'm going to go with the dude that Dion wants him to be a Raider. Shedeur wants to work with Tom Brady. Mark Davis on board with it. Max Crosby has already said, Shedeur's my guy. When you think about the pairing overall, this is going to be a pairing. Shedeur's been working with Tom Brady since 2020. They text after every game. He's tweeting out, thank you, God. Well, guess what? I don't know if you believe in God, but Shedeur Sanders, he might be the dude that helps us get helps us go forward to achieve our ultimate goal, which is a Super Bowl. Let's go to the next pick here, round 2 for the Silver and Black. So I took a quarterback in round 1. When I look at some of the needs here for this team, I'm going to try to build on the interior as well, and one of those spots is going to be on the offensive line. So I'm going to go with Wyatt Milum here in the second round at pick number 33 out of West Virginia. He's viewed as an offensive tackle. Some scouts view him as an offensive guard. To me personally, the way that I would use him for the Raiders is you're going to bring him in as insurance. Now, again, I'm doing this video in December. If the Raiders give Kolton Miller a contract extension, then I don't know if I make this pick here. But based on the fact that I know that Kolton Miller's got 0 guaranteed left on his deal, and I don't know if the Raiders are going to try to bring him back, if we're going to go out and we're going to invest in a quarterback like Shedeur, and if we're going to invest in any quarterback, I don't care who you are, you need to be able to protect them. You need to be able to win in the trenches. So for that reason, I'm going to go with Milum here in the second round at pick 33. If you're looking for more mock drafts, if you want more draft content, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you got those notifications turned on, because like I said before, we will get the picks here on this channel before you see them on TV. Sometimes we're 2-3 picks ahead of them. If you want to see the mock draft that I did about 3 weeks ago, this one I took Cam Ward in. I think the Raiders were at pick like number 5. This link's going to be available to y'all down in the comments and in the description of today's show. Nobody's going to put out the amount of draft content that we do here on the Raiders Report. Let's go to round 3. We got 2 picks here in the third round, thanks to the Devontae Adams trade. The first one, though, is not the Devontae pick. The second third-round pick, technically, is the pick. Chokes told me, Mitch, this is never going to happen, and you know what? And sometimes that's my favorite part about mock drafts. You're going to get players, you're like, how the hell did this guy slide to me? I took Quinyon Mitchell in the third round last season, and maybe Kyren Lacy, getting him here at 67 in round 3, is that dude. At 6'2", 213 pounds, you're looking for an athlete, and Kyron's kind of that athlete to be able to pair with Brock Bowers, to be able to pair with Jacoby Myers, somebody that can stretch the field here a little bit and has done that for LSU. You're also looking for a replacement for Devontae Adams. So in the third round, you go out, you get Kyren Lacy. So that means I got a quarterback, I got an offensive lineman, I got a wide receiver, a lot of offense early on. Some of you are like, Mitch, are we going to go with defense? And you know what? I did decide to go with defense here with my next pick, and I'm going to go with Jack Sawyer from Ohio State. Chuck said, don't tell James, our boss, who's a Michigan guy. Though, shout out to Michigan for winning another one. The reason why I went here is he was best player available. And oftentimes I've said that I want the Raiders to be a little bit more versatile. And players that I have sat up here on this show and I begged the Raiders to go out and get a Kyle Van Noy, a player like Andrew Van Ginkel. And a lot of times when you look at the NFL, you need dudes that can do multiple different things. 6'5", 260. A little bit undersized from a typical defensive end, but he can stand up as a linebacker, outside linebacker, can also get after the quarterback. So because up in the air, I'm hoping Patrick Graham's back. I'm hoping that our defensive line coach, Rob Leonard's back as well. I think if you were to pair Jack Sawyer with the Max Crosby, with the Patrick Graham, with the Rob Leonard, overall, really good value here for the Silver and Black. I'll get into our round 4 pick here in just a moment, but today's mock draft sponsored by Game Time. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed, and that's thanks to our awesome sponsor here, Game Time. If you're trying to go to a Raiders game and you still want to be able to save some money on those tickets, I see how expensive they are. I would recommend waiting till the last minute and then getting them on Game Time. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply again. Create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS. That's CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's Game Time. One of my favorite ways to look at this app is whether you want to look at a hockey game, maybe you want to look at MMA, maybe you want to look at a concert. I mean, I have gotten Drake tickets on Game Time. Chugs has gotten Adele tickets on Game Time. We have gotten tickets I've gotten tickets for my fiance's parents for a Cowboys game. Like, I trust Game Time. My dad just got tickets a few months ago for the Mets and Brewers playoff game. I'm telling you this. The best way that I can tell you, I can sit up here and tell you how much money you can save on Game Time, how awesome it is. It's an app I use. It's an app Chugs uses. It's an app my dad has used. It's an app I give to my fiance for her family to use. If you don't use it, that's on you, and you can do whatever you want. But I'm telling you this, if you want last-minute tickets and you want that lowest price guaranteed, Game Time's where it's at, and that link's down in the comments. It's in the description. Though, if you do use it, check out the Game Time picks. It's how you save the most money. Let's go to round 4 here in our Raiders mock draft. Can't even believe I'm doing another mock draft in December, but that's what happens when your team's 2-10. Let's go to the next pick here, round 4, 103. I'm going to go with the running back, 6'2", 225-pounder, Ollie Gordon. And to me, you got to think about what you're going to do at the running back spot next season. Zamir White. I got no idea if it's going to be Zeus or if he's going to be Zamir White. Dylan Laube, drafted in the 6th round. I don't even know if he's going to be on the team next season. Amir Abdullah, free agent. Alexander Madison, free agent. You need to get another running back, and maybe you pair him with Sincere McCormick, getting a dude in the 4th round. Ollie Gordon here does have a lot of wear and tear on those tires, but is a physical back that I think fits with JPJ and some of the things that we're trying to do here on offense. Let's go to round 5 in our mock now. Ollie, welcome to the Silver and Black. So round 5, I've been really paying a lot of attention here on this offensive side of the football, which is where the Raiders definitely need to fix. One of the positions that I was told the Raiders are going to really focus on in the draft, you know they're going to focus on QB, you know they're going to focus on offensive line, was another position, linebacker. And I don't love the fact that I had to wait until round 5 to get him, but sometimes it's just the way that the cookie crumbles here. So I'm going to go with Jaishawn Barham from Michigan, 6'3", 250-pounder, 65 tackles this season, 1 sack with the Wolverines. When you listen to some of the coaches talk about him, good athlete, good leader. And for the Raiders, I don't know what's going to happen with Robert Spillane. He's going to be a free agent, quite frankly. Really hope that they figure out how to bring the mic, how to bring our green dot back. Another player, Divine Diablo, he's going to be a free agent. Probably not going to bring him back. The Raiders drafted Tommy Eichenberg in the 5th round out of Ohio State. That'd be kind of funny to pair a Michigan linebacker with an Ohio State guy. But for the Silver and Black, you need to go out and you need to be able to build depth at linebacker because you are going to be losing a lot of players, whether that be for special teams or whether that just be on the defensive side of the football. So let me know down below here. It's going to be a question that I need the nation to answer. What's the biggest need besides quarterback in this year's draft? And this is going to be a question that I will continue to ask week in and week out in the offseason. We know it's quarterback. We know we need a QB. Outside of that, though, let me know where you think some of these other big needs are for the Silver and Black. For me, I'm looking at the offensive line. You can look at guard. You can look at left tackle. I think both of those are definitely spots there. Then you got to be able to replace a linebacker. You got to be able to potentially go out and get a corner. Your safeties. The amount of players that the Raiders need to be able to replenish in free agency and in the draft, I'll tell you this, it's a lot. Let's go to round 6. We got 3 picks in this round, and I'm going to be really excited on draft night. for round 6, just because at this point it's day 3 of the NFL draft. Chugs and I have been live for probably 30 flipping hours at this point over a 3-day stretch, and we let our hair down. We have some good times here. So let's go with Malachi Moore in round 6, pick 179 at safety. Due to the fact that Marcus Epps is a free agent, again, he had a torn ACL, so hopefully he's able to come back next season, but he's a free agent. Trevon Merrick, another free agent there at free safety. I'm hoping that the Raiders can bring back at least one of those guys. If they did, it would probably be Trevon Merrick. But for Malachi Moore, he's got to compete with Trey Taylor. He's a good athlete, good leader. I think he goes a little bit early, which is why I ended up taking him here at 179. Let's go to another pick here, round 6. 3 more to go here in our mock draft. And I'm not going to sit up here and try to tell you that I know a lot about each of these players. At this point in the draft, I look for dudes that I can build some depth with and maybe even a little bit more versatility. So that's why I'm going to go with Xavier Truss here, 6'7", 320-pound lineman from Georgia. When you see 6'7", screams offensive tackle, though some scouts think that he might be a guard, which I'm like, dude, 6'7" guard. Think of this dude as like kind of like a Thayer Munford, where big body. And if you get the right coaching, you get the right people around him, he might be able to play offensive guard. He might be able to play tackle. And maybe I'm a sucker right now for a Georgia offensive lineman. But not many guys are going to Georgia that aren't good at football. And at 6'7", 320 pounds, you're hoping that you can mold him into something. And a versatile offensive lineman, I'm a sucker for it. Let's go to another pick here in round 6. Building in the trenches, build defense recently. This is a dude that I had to go with for Chugs. And Chugs is a fan of this guy, knows him from Texas, Houston. Upton Stout. Chugs loves it. Former Mean Green, 50 tackles, 1 interception, 1 PBU for the Raiders. Nate Hobbs, going to be a free agent. Jack Jones has seen some up and down. You're hoping that he has another good year, but if AP's not the head coach next season, do you trust Jack Jones? Because every team that Jones has been on that AP hasn't been a part of, whether it's high school, college, NFL, Jack Jones has been terrible. So do you have to decide to go out and get another cornerback to be able to build some depth? That's what I did here. Undersized guy, I get it, but could be a little bit of a spark plug. If you like Amik Robertson, I think you'd like Upton Stout. Let's go to the final pick here in my mock draft, round 7 for the silver and black. And for the Raiders, you got to be able to build in the trenches. I'm going to go here in the trenches out of Louisville. Give me Thor Griffith. If your name is Thor, I'm taking you in the 7th round. There's my analysis. The actual analysis, though, is Adam Butler is going to be a free agent at defensive tackle. Could you decide, and could you see the Raiders maybe move Tyree Wilson a little bit more on the outside with Malcolm Kuntz being a free agent? We need to be able to win in the trenches a little bit more. I think I've been impressed about what I've seen from John Lalu, but outside of Christian Wilkins, who, again, battling an injury, we need to do a lot better job on the interior. Thor Griffith in the 7th round, big body, who knows? With a name like Thor, what's the worst that could happen? So if you guys could do me a solid, please grade my mock draft. If you're going to take time out of your day to watch this video, I'm going to take time out of my day to see what you're going to grade it. A, B, C, D, or F. We've all been to school. At least I hope so. I know it's been a while for some of us here. Grade my mock, A, B, C, D, or F. Take a screenshot, and don't be afraid to tag me on IG and on Twitter, at Mitchell Renz 365. My grade, and maybe this is me just giving myself a pat on the back, but it's just going to be my grade. Every time I do a mock draft, if I get Cam Ward or if I get Shedeur Sanders, I'm going to give myself an A grade. If I take Cam Ward and Shedeur at number 2 and all my other picks are quarterbacks, I'm still going to give myself an A grade. We need a franchise QB, and if the Raiders come away with Shedeur or Cam Ward, I'm going to feel like that was an A+ slam dunk type of draft. So why not grade the mock the exact same way?